I have 5:30 now. It is 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. I'm going to call this regular town board meeting of the town of Point to order. So call Mike Anderson. Here. Lee Baxter. Here. Susan Brenna. Here. Samantha Dobson. Here. Glenn Carlson here. We also have our town clerk, Michaela Montagne, our town administrator, Michael Kupta, and our public works director, Ben Schramm. Is there any public comment? And this would be public comment of a minute or less without longer public comment at the end.
I have a quick public comment.
Go ahead.
We got notice that Representative Chance Green is saying that we can get a bunch more monies through a shared revenue plan for the town. And I guess I haven't read it yet, and I want to know what else is connected, but maybe we could write it representatives. It's shut down already? All right, then never mind.
Any other public comment? I just have one thing. So last week I was down in Madison for federal district court hearing on a suit brought by the Bad River Band for injunctive relief on the pipeline, the Enbridge pipeline. The fear being that it's getting perilously close to the erosion from the Bad River. So I was asked by lawyers to go down there, and so I went down and got to speak as a witness for all of probably 2 or 3 minutes before the judge cut me off and said, I know all about Ashland and Madeline Island and Bayfield. I know how beautiful it is, and I know how devastating the oil spill would be. So thank you very much. You're excused. Now the lawyers told me that's really good. Actually, rather than me testifying to it, the judge actually testified. So that's what. But there was Chair Wiggins was down there, and that was a good opportunity to, I think, show our support for their efforts. Okay, any other public comment? Okay, we have some bids to open. First is for an HVAC contract. RFP 23-01. My flashlight is on.
I have one bid or proposal for HVAC from Superior Plumbing and Mechanical. They just have standard maintenance and labor rate of $125 an hour, emergency service labor rate $155 an hour, trip charge including ferry is $125 per trip, and any equipment or tools $35, and they'll have manufacturer warranty with it. That is the only one, Superior Plumbing and Mechanical.
And that'll be on the next agenda to approve. Okay. And the next RFP is for chapel cleaning, RFP 23-02.
We received one from Barony, residential and commercial cleaning for $55 an hour. Once a week, or as it was proposed, once a week at $2. May through September. They will supply the cleaning supplies.
Thank you. All right. Any discussion or questions on here? Next item, administrative reports. Town administrators report. Everyone has Michael's report. Are there any questions or comments? I had just a couple. So I see that later on we're dealing with the sidewalk installation. I should ask, but I'm guessing that the reason that the curb and the ADA ramp aren't in there is because they weren't in the budget for this year, so they're going to.
Well, I mean, we have a flat amount for sidewalk replacement,
right.
So this seemed to be the priority more. So we put the RFP out for this one, see where it comes out. Then we can see if there's money left over for additional.
Would there be any benefit to putting the RFP in terms of alternatives, like ask for all three, and what it would be just for the sidewalk? Or are you guys prepared to?
I think we're prepared to do the other ones ourselves, and I think there's enough in the parks budget and designated funds to rec center and
Okay,
on Main Street.
okay,
Oh, good.
okay. Great, thank you. And further on that, did we get a new easement signed by the Madeline and Vacations folks?
Well, it's the same form for each to sign, and so the attorney said it's fine the way it is.
Okay, all right.
Obviously, we only have an easement for the one property, not for both.
Right. My last question, so I see we're going to be installing the AV system on Thursday, which is terrific. When you reconfigure all the seating and all of that, if we can make sure that everyone has, like especially town board members can see, you know, the screen and the audience and you and Michaela, and that there are good line of sight issues, so thank you.
We will put out one layout, and if it doesn't work, we'll figure out another.
Okay, sounds good. Any other questions for Michael?
My only question is, Michael, in your report, you have the conditional use fee waiver for the dog park, but in the agenda, then we're gonna talk about the dog park in the lease with the operators of the dog park. So are we gonna combine those two? I mean, I can wait till then.
The agenda has the,
Which all three topics are on the agenda.
one of them's combined into one agenda item, the application and possibly waive fee. So it's.
So we're gonna talk about later, okay. That's fine.
I just wanted to comment, like, I like the green bucket system, thanks, so we have a meeting
Like what?
for it.
The green bucket.
Green bucket.
And I just had a question. I like the sample for the airport, and I'm wondering when that's going to be able to be used. And I still am uncomfortable with charging them double. I know they have a lot of money, but maybe we can discuss that at another meeting.
Any other comments or questions from Michael? Is there unanimous consent to place this report on file?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next item, Public Works, Rose Dock Harbor. First item is extension of vacation hours for Public Works Director Ben Schramm.
You're just looking for an extension?
And the extension, do we have a date?
May 2nd, 2004, for 33 hours. 2024.
2024.
I'll make a motion to extend Ben Tram's vacation hours. There's 33 unused hours, requesting an extension till May 2nd, 2024.
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, request for proposal, sidewalk installation. Everyone has that before you.
I'll make a motion, we request for proposal for the sidewalk installation.
Moved and seconded, any discussion?
When, well, you, or somebody's gonna talk to whoever bids, aren't they? I was just kinda curious, not that we put it out there, but like, if you were talking to somebody, just what, you know, could we add on, like, what would it cost to continue going to Whitefish Street? Not that we're gonna do it, but, you know, would it be double the price, or triple the price, or at the same price?
You're gonna cross the other parties.
Yeah, I mean,
property.
I'm not talking about someday, I'm just saying if you're talking to somebody and you could just say, can we take that figure, because if you take the number of feet and then go the other distance,
Mhm.
could you use that figure? I don't know.
Probably not, with everything building right now, everything building is going up almost like, I mean, it's crazy.
I'd just be curious to
So
know
like
if it would be something that would be compatible, or, you know, something that would, you know, they would do it, or, I don't know.
If we have an interested contractor, we'd be happy to discuss with them.
You just ask them.
Throw a ballpark estimate out
You
there.
should know.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm sure he's gonna go either way.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
We'll see.
and it may be judged by them. Any other comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the Hagan Road Design Engineering Contract with Cooper Engineering, and I think everybody saw in Michael's report that it looks like it's coming in at a considerably less than what the Department of Transportation had estimated. So is there a motion to approve the contract with Cooper Engineering Company?
I make a motion to approve the contract. with the engineering company.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the Big Bay Town Park Accessibility Feasibility Study. Say that 10 times fast. The question really before us is simply a consensus from the board as to which of the 4 alternatives we would like to pursue grant funding for, with the understanding that if we can't get grant funding for the project that we're looking for, can we get grant funding for one of the other alternatives? But I think the thought was let's see what we can get first and then go from there. So
That's what Amy said last time, that makes sense to
Yeah,
me.
that does make sense.
You reach for the sky and, you
Right.
know, and if they give us the sky, then you go for, you know, otherwise go with what you got.
so that's number 1, right?
Yeah.
Number 1, with the spiffy bridge.
With the Spiffy Bridge. Okay, got that, Michael. Do you want a vote on this at all?
It's your call. I understand the priorities of
Okay,
the board, so that's what we'll pursue is
yeah,
the
I don't think,
number 1 option and
Yeah.
see what sticks.
okay, great, thank you.
And then you'll tell them that what our, you know, what we're thinking. We'll shoot for the sky and maybe hit the moon.
Well, if we ask for, you know, I think what, 1.8,
You know, it all depends on what kind of grant programming and how many different grant programs we're going after.
right?
I mean, we need to give them a specific proposal. They often ask, you know, both minimums and maximums, so
We've got it,
we'll see what they require in the application process.
thank you. Okay, next item is under Airport Industrial Zone Lot Lease, a 10-year renewal for Lot 8 for Evan and Kathleen Erickson. I had just one question, and I think it might be a typo on page 5 under,
2032.
yeah,
Yes, it should be 2030.
okay. Got it.
I will make a,
Yeah, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the industrial zone lot lease to Evan and Kathleen Erickson for 10 years.
A second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, committees. Planning and zoning. First one is application for a conditional use. And this is really, should the town board apply to the TPC for a conditional use permit for the town, which owns property behind the ball field, right, just past the outfield fence, that we would like to ask the TPC, would they grant a conditional use permit to put a dog park, a fenced in, basically half an acre there. And we've had discussions with that, and I think we agreed that we would refer this to the TPC. So that's part 1, and then part 2 is we as the town board have the authority to waive the fee that we would otherwise have to pay ourselves to have this go before the TPC. So I guess if we can, Michaela, do that as one motion. Okay.
Well, let's discuss it.
Well,
Do we, when Tori was here a couple meetings ago, we said, go, you know, go find out what the setbacks are and talk to the Seavers and see how close that their land is. I never heard any answer back for that. Did anybody?
Well, Tori was gonna be here tonight. She came at 4:30.
Because that depends
I
on
can
you.
carry that question
It's
back
not-
to you. I can carry that answer back to you if she has that. I mean, I'm not sure what it is you're looking for. We know where the property lines are.
Wouldn't it be, if we apply for a CUP, the TPC is gonna tell us if if it meets the setbacks, and if the neighbors wrote a complaint about it. We're gonna find that out when we apply for the CUP.
What I'm saying is, why, then we're doing the work. Well, in my mind, we asked a question that would it reach setback? Did we
Right.
find out?
Maybe
And
she
that's the
did.
last I ever heard.
Right,
Never heard anything of it after that.
Would the reason that we're doing the work be because we're the property owners?
Mhm.
That makes sense to me.
And all we're doing is applying
Right.
for it, and then the TPC takes it from there. Okay, is there a motion?
I make a motion that we apply for a conditional use permit for a dog park on town property parcel 014-0467-200 and ask if the TPC will also.
It's up to us.
Oh, well then I'd like to waive the fee.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, moved and seconded, at least it's my understanding that we're the ones that waive.
That's my reading of the ordinance.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is to pursue a potential lease with the operators of a dog park on town property. And I would say probably to delegate Michael Kukta to have discussions with them. And I know there have been discussions and they need to really formalize their organization more than it currently is, so that we will actually have an entity that we can have an agreement with. At this point, there isn't such an entity that I'm aware of, but they're working on that. So this would really just be to give Michael the authority to discuss with them what sort of conditions we might, as a town, want to put on them, so that they can use this property as a dog park. So,
I'd like it to state that if they are not doing the cleanup that they have said that they would do, and if there are any fights that they don't resolve quickly, that they lose their license.
Do they have a set of criteria that they've drafted to propose that? Because I think that's something they should put together, rather than us trying to compile this list. Just have them come to us with, like, general, like, you've been a dog park, like, you have general rules, you know, like, is that something that they can do?
I think she
for us?
already did show us a list of rules that she was gonna have, but I want to make sure that if they break any of those rules, that they're going to.
I think that would be the case.
I-
would put that in there.
I'm nervous, and I was nervous from the beginning, because we represent the citizens of this whole island. And it's liability issues, and anybody can say, oh, we'll cover the liability. But when attorneys go to court, they go after whoever's got the most money. They don't go after a little group that's doing the dog park. They will go after the town.
Well, then they also go after the
Can't you-
property owners.
Well, that's the town.
Right, that's what I'm.
And that's what I'm saying.
Well, I would imagine most municipalities have protection on some level against this because dog parks exist in many places. So, you know,
Yeah, I think that as we move forward on this, Michael will be in touch with our attorney to make sure that we're protected and that they have also adequate insurance. I think is an important part of this, but this is really just to, I think, get the ball rolling. We're probably pretty far away from anything happening. First, there's gonna be, the TPC is gonna have to deal with, as you know, all of the notice and public hearing and whatnot. And then, that's even before it gets to the town having an agreement with them.
when is that where a lot of this conversation will be, like, solidified?
Yes,
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have a motion here to authorize Michael Gupta to enter into discussions with the people who are planning to operate this dog park?
Do they have like that just seems kind of strange, they haven't really organized enough to have like a
Name.
name,
No,
okay.
as far as.
I'll make a
Their
motion,
intention is to create bylaws and have officers and have a formal organization. But they're, at this point, not pursuing 501c3 status, so they will also be looking for a fiscal agent. And so they really need to get that in place before we can have any serious discussions about these.
I'll make a motion, we authorize Michael to, talk to them about
Dog park.
dog parties.
Second.
Moved and seconded, further discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Next item, and obviously any lease has to come to the town board. So, next item, zoning board of appeals, appoint new member for term ending June 30th, 2025, and we have one applicant, and that is David Elan, who I will appoint subject to approval by the town board. If you will make a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion that the town chairman approves David Elan for the zoning board of appeals.
Term ending 6/30/2025, I'll second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, Winter Transportation Committee, appointments of the Bayfield School District representatives to the Winter Transportation Committee. The representatives have been Joel, the maintenance director,
Joel Shulman.
and Beth Papp, the superintendent, and they've asked that, in lieu of Beth, that we appoint Randy Johnson, the finance director. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we appoint Randy Johnson and Joel, is it Shillman,
Shulman.
Yes.
to be the two designated district representatives for the Bayfield School.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, temporary art on pavement of Michael Cadott Road. And for those who don't know, Michael Cadott Road is that road that is between the croquet court and Tom's Burn Down Cafe. It's that one block road. And also on town sidewalks. And Mike, if you have anything you can add about what they're looking to do?
They're discussing a number of options, just sort of glorified chalk art. They talked about having some sort of poetry contest. Their verse would be stenciled onto sidewalks with, washable paint or chalk or something. Those are the kinds of activities they're looking at.
But nothing that would be blocking a portion of the road.
Well, they
Pretty
would
emergency.
need to probably block the road when it's being applied, but no, it'd just be on the pavement.
And this is just for on the road, would only be on the Cadott Road.
Correct.
Okay.
But we had a ruckus on the Cadott Road years ago because of kind of this very thing.
It also says, I believe in Michael's.
It's not, there's nothing in the report.
Almost puppet, when the puppet was there? When the puppet people were there?
It also says on the agenda and on town sidewalks.
Right.
So not just that road.
Right, but only on the road. It's the only road
Right,
that it would be on.
I just don't want to, I want it to be known not to block the road. If an emergency vehicle has to use that road, if a fire or somebody, ambulance or something has to get on that road, I don't
Well,
want
again, we'll need to block the road to apply to whatever artwork they.
But they can block it in a way that they can remove it and let the vehicle through. I mean, we've done that for years. It's not.
It's only gonna be blocked for a few hours total. And during that time, there are gonna be people there who assume if the emergency vehicles need to get to it, people are gonna scatter,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
so,
just so they understand.
yeah, it's not gonna be a permanent.
I've not heard them mention anything about permanent closure of the road at Brookside.
And I guess, have we done this before?
We have,
You've done, after school or
Yeah.
down sidewalks, and the drains and the garbage receptacles.
John, you gotta,
I was just wondering if they could tell the board what they're gonna do, so it doesn't end up being anything political.
yeah, I'm gonna guess they will not do anything, but,
Because once it's there, it's there.
Yeah.
They're not really saying what they're gonna do.
Correct.
okay, and when is this planning to start? When are they planning to do this?
They asked for your permission at their last meeting, so I have no idea what their timetable is.
Well, why don't we table this and, see if we can get a little bit more information from them, and bring it up on our next meeting.
I'll make a motion that we, what's the new word?
Oh, postpone,
That
or,
we- I'll make a motion that we postpone our decision on D1, temporary art on pavement of Michael Cadet Road and town sidewalks till our next board meeting for more information.
and maybe someone from the committee could be here. That would be really helpful.
I was supposed to be there.
You're not a member officially, maybe so, that was very kind of you to throw yourself under the bus. But not necessary. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to postpone this till our next meeting. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, committee minutes. Are there any questions on committee minutes? Well, I had one, actually I got a couple. One was on the library minutes. I see in the meeting of April 20th, there's a discussion that library director had a discussion with an owner of Bell Street Tavern about the availability of the building. She spoke of her thoughts on collaborating with other organizations and committees and the benefits this space could provide. While I appreciate the enthusiasm of the library director, I think she is way swimming out of her lane. The town board authorizes purchases of real estate. We don't have people going out as town employees talking to potential real estate owners about purchasing things for the town. And so I would just hope that the board of the library will take this into consideration. And further, I think that, you know, the town has not decided anything on a community center, and even if we think it may or may not be appropriate for it to be under the library. It may be more appropriate for it to be under the town. It may be more appropriate for it to be part of the Parks Department. But I think that definitely it is not appropriate for them to be having discussions about the purchase of real estate.
It sounded to me like that came from the steering committee.
The steering committee about her approaching the Bell Street Tavern.
I thought so.
I did not.
Steering committee has had nothing to do with.
Oh,
The steering committee has drafted a process that I recommend the community pursue for evaluating what kind of community center or activities would be appropriate for the town. That draft was shared with the library board, but the draft and the recommendations in that have nothing to do with discussions of purchasing Bell Street.
Okay, because I saw that.
Has this, at our last meeting, we did give permission for the housing, Affordable Housing Committee to send out requests for proposals. Have they done that, or has this postponed that?
We have not drafted The timetable is to have a draft RFP for the committee to review at their June meeting and then bring that to the town board. This Bell Street thing was on the last housing committee agenda, and the housing committee said they're not interested in being participants in this at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions on?
I just wanted to clarify, you made the statement that the town board authorizes the purchase of the company will be the townspeople,
Well, first it's the town board,
but then ultimately the townspeople.
yeah, and,
I just wanna make it
yeah,
clear.
yeah, no, the townspeople do ultimately have to approve it, but even before it gets to that, it's gonna be the town board, and it's, you know, I don't think we can have, other people negotiating on behalf of the town. I mean, I think that's not a good practice. And I'm gonna guess it would probably require some, debt, which the town board would have to, approve. Which I think, speaks to why we would probably want to look long and hard before turning this operation over to an entity that frankly the town board has no control over. So that's my comment on that. Any other comments on the committee minutes? Okay, moving on, town hall administration, budget summary report. Everybody should have that, and we seem to be in about the same shape as we were about a year ago, so.
I will make a motion to approve the budget summary report as presented.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion?
I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who has donated to our legal fund.
No kidding.
Yeah.
We sent out thank you notes on it.
Yes, we did.
We're up to 7,600.
I believe it's, I have to check. What was the last number it gave you, 6,300 or something?
In your report, I think,
$7,613.
oh, that's in the donations report. So, we're good, good. Some good support, so thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Okay, moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next item, motion carries. Next item, resolution 2023-0523, to appoint Jamie Murray as our agent for dealings with the Department of Employee Trust Funds.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2023-0523 to, a resolution appointing designation of agent for Department of Employee Trust Funds.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion?
This is a statute, Wisconsin statute that we have to do this, right?
I don't know if the statute, we have to designate someone to officially represent the town with the Department of Employee.
But I mean, they
Trust
quote the statute on here.
Funds. Well, it's probably Mikhail, you drafted this.
I did it,
I'm just
I
curious.
drafted this one, I'm guessing it just correlates to the employee trust funds more than anything else.
I'm just curious.
Okay, moved seconded, any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next is resolution 2023-0523A to appoint alternates for the Board of Review. And the appointments are Marie Noha as alternate 1 and Michael Collins as alternate 2.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2022-0523A to appoint alternate members for the Board of Review, Marie Noah and Michael Collins.
And that should actually be resolution 2023-0523.
It's correct on the agenda,
It's
it's
correct
not
on
on
the
the
agenda.
draft, yep.
Okay,
It was
okay,
I'll second.
moved and seconded, any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay, next item is a special event permit for the Apostle Islands Inline Marathon and Half Marathon to be held June 17th. June 17th, 2023.
That's really cool, right?
Yeah, this is the rollerblade. Is there a motion to approve this permit?
I'll make a motion, we approve the special event permit for the Apostle Islands Inline Marathon and Half Marathon, and for discussion.
Okay, so is there a second? Okay, moved and seconded, discussion?
So I'm wondering, because it does kind of come every year, but we do these a year out, and we're giving them the permit, but we're not really, I guess this is more of a question than a comment. We're not really like telling them what the fee's gonna be at that point, right? They're not locked in.
Well, this one is just for the, coming out of next month.
Oh,
The
next-
program we do a year out.
okay, this is next, okay. Well, then I'll ask my question correctly.
But right on the, application, it has, the 50% of anticipated costs due, and then the remainder after the event, once costs are totaled, and so, like this event, we have very good anticipated
Okay.
costs that we've done.
Okay.
So it's been moved and seconded. I will just have to say, someone stopped me on the road today, and this is an indication of sort of how the people on the island feel about Ashland County, and anything to do with Ashland County. And they're like, I couldn't believe that they're wanting to have that marathon here again, and
I did have a question about that.
go ahead.
Wondering how safety will be held with that relationship in contention, because they come over and provide extra service. What does that relationship look like for that event? Because this is the only event where we have Ashland County actually come over.
They were over for the marathon.
Oh, really? Okay.
That,
Okay.
and I think that's up to Mary McFadden. It's actually the Ashland City that puts it on. It's the city of Ashland.
Well, it's the chambers. the Ashland-
Yeah, but she represents the entire county.
Right.
And, I mean, it's their job to provide the services.
Right.
It's her job to set it up.
Anyhow, I just wanted to mention that some of the folks here are not happy that, we're supporting an entity that frankly, doesn't,
Do you think marbles are gonna fly in the driveways?
No, I hope not, but I think, just, to be continued.
Is this enough of a thing that we need more discussion on, that I should change my motion and table it and talk about this at the next meeting?
I think for this year, I wouldn't want to disrupt, it's just a few weeks away.
I think she's done a very good job for many years. They've done a very good job of providing the service, and they clean up, and they've been, I think they do a good job.
I just don't know if next year people are gonna be even more incensed, depending on what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
I think it's
So,
worth the conversation.
yeah, so before next year's, they should be aware that we're gonna have a long conversation about it. Okay, so it has been moved and seconded, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, request for proposals for septic waste removal, and this is routine, this is just, because our 3-year contract with, Island Septic is ending July 1st. So we're asking for.
I make a
request for
motion
proposals.
that we ask for a request for proposals for septic waste removal with a due date of June 13th, 2023 at 4 p.m.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, and this is just a first reading, and it may be a little ahead of itself, but we're not voting on it tonight, but it's really in anticipation that there is a dog park, that we would allow dogs off leash within the confines of a dog park. So this is just a first reading. If you've got any comments or thoughts, please share them with Mike. So then the next item on the agenda, unless there's further discussion at this point, the next item on the agenda is extension of vacation hours for the county administrator, Barb Nelson.
Do we have any Davis.
It's in,
It's in my report, and that is, she has 284 hours accrued. She's seeking an extension until she retires or June 30th, 2024, whichever comes soonest. And I'm hoping June 30th, 2024 comes soonest, but I don't think that's going to happen. She will accrue an additional 224 hours on July 1st. In all likelihood, her unused hours are going to be paid out on her retirement.
I'd make a motion that we approve the extension of Barb's vacation hours until she retires or June 30th,
I'll second.
2024.
2024.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, vouchers.
I will make a motion to approve the vouchers in the amount of $64,719.88.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Alternative claims.
I will make a motion to approve the alternative claims in the amount of $138,363.22.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, treasurer's report.
I'd make a motion to approve the treasurer's report with a checking account balance of $573,931.21.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, minutes of the regular town board meeting of May 9th.
I'll make a motion, we approve the regular town board meeting minutes, May 9th, 2023, as presented.
Second.
I have one correction or one, I guess, elaboration. Under public comment A, if at the end we can say, the current board indicated that they have, that they had and have no intention of pursuing this idea, period. And I think you can just take it right off of there.
And I will change my motion to making a motion to approve the regular town board meeting minutes, May 9th, 2023, to include the changes to Glenn's comment under public comment A, to haven't or won't. Okay.
I'll resecond.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Next item, emergency services. I don't think we have anything with that.
Nothing to report.
Okay, next item, public comment B. John?
First, I'd like to thank the board for reconsidering the Apostle Islands Marathon, the rollerblading marathon for next year. I know you're under constraint for this year. Second, I'd like to bring up the fact that it's been over a month since I talked about the Old Faithful on the dock, which last Friday was blowing and Monday the water's coming through. And I don't know if it's been addressed. I looked at the town administrator's report and haven't seen anything in it or anything about remedying the things at the fire hall. These are just as important because they're projects that the town has already paid for. We have warranties at the fire hall. We might have a workmanship warranty at the dock. I don't want to see the town paying for something that's going to fail years from now when we could have time now to make the corrections at somebody else's expense and not the town's. Also, the comment about affordable housing with the purchasing of the Nelson Tavern, that was brought up, and I would like to see if there would be a liaison from the town board to the Affordable Housing Committee. I've sat in on 3 meetings, and I think the town board would be really interested in how the meetings go. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Any other public comment? Yes, Paul?
Regarding the cleaning of the chapel, I was curious if you could find out if that Marnie cleaning
$55 an hour includes the ferry charge. And I'd also like to comment that I think that $55 an hour is a little high. I don't know why the town couldn't have someone from the Parks Department, instead of cutting grass, do the cleaning themselves in-house. I'm sure you'd save yourself some money.
Thank you, Paul. Any other public comment? Thank you both. Next item, lawsuits and legal issues. Anything further?
Town board knows, but for public knowledge, the attorneys from the county and the town submitted their reply briefs for the DOR petition. That deadline was last Friday. Those briefs were sent to the DOR, so the DOR has until the end of July to act on the town's petition to transfer some of the levy from the county to the town. There's no update on the claim against the county. The county board has until July 8th to act or not act on their claim, depending on what they do. That would open up the opportunity for the town to sue the county if they so desired. County board meets next on June 6th. At this point, there's no agenda posted.
Thank you. Any questions for Michael? Okay. Item 14, new agenda items for future meetings.
So I'd like to make sure that we have our next meeting talking about the, like, if they're unable to pay even once we have, I'm talking about the airport, sorry. I think that, to me, it feels like they shouldn't have to pay the same. There should be like a fine. I mean, because I know I don't have a lot of money, so I'm not flying in and out. They do, but there's no penalty in that. And so to make them pay twice instead of, so they have to pay for the tie down, and then if they haven't paid, then they're having to pay for it like double. And I hear people say, well, if they can fly in, they've got, but that to me almost feels just not like it's uncomfortable, so I'd like to talk about that. I mean,
That's not all, I understand.
Okay, can we put that on the agenda?
Airport fee schedule to.
Good, thank you.
Can we see it again, too?
Yeah.
So then, like some of that.
well, it's actually, well, okay, next meeting.
Okay, so it'll be on the agenda. I'd like to put down an update on Old Faithful. John's
Is that what
question.
you were gonna call it?
Sure.
Repair.
The
That's
doctor.
not-
not called.
How about repairs?
Doctor.
Doctor repairs. Let's
Dock
call it
and fire hall repairs.
Yeah, if we could put that down and just get an update, that would be great. Anything else? Okay, all right.
Contract for HVAC, contractor.
Oh, yeah, and the other,
And then you took the temporary rep to.
and if they could attend that or something.
I guess if I can get paid.
Well, yeah, kind of have an idea what their idea is.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other?
Well, there are posters on this island that charge less than $55 an hour. Can we post it again before our next meeting or no? You just don't think anybody would be interested because they're all too busy?
They had an opportunity, guys.
We mailed to every cleaning service on the island we were aware of,
Oh, okay.
or that we had addresses for or whatever. I talked to some individually, nobody's has the capacity to take on additional work, so.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. Okay. Hearing no other agenda items, is there a motion to adjourn? All right, moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
And next time, everyone will be able to watch us from the
Right.
comfort of your own home with good audio and video.
Don't promise. Yeah, soon, maybe
Maybe.
next time.
We're hopeful.
Yeah.